Hey everybody, I'm going to go through a hopefully quick little NRP tutorial. I have my Recessa baby, hope you can see it okay, vintage 1970s. Don't have a bag or a mask, so I'm going to use this bulb that comes with the baby. Don't really know what this is supposed to be used for, but I'm going to pretend that this is the actual mask. It does deflate a little, so just bear with me there. So talking about resuscitation, our baby's coming out and it's not breathing. Step one is to dry the baby, warm the baby, wipe any fluid out of the mouth. Stimulate tactilely on the back, on the feet after 30 seconds if the baby is still having a hard time, not breathing, kind of limp, dusky, colorless. We're going to, assess for the heart rate and see what's going on. After 30 seconds, like I said, we know that the baby's in secondary apnea now, and at this point it's a respiratory issue, and the baby most likely is going to need a little bit of help initiating those first breaths. So you want to make sure that you have a flat surface to work on. You have warm towels, that you have a neck roll, which is just a washcloth rolled up that will go behind the baby's neck. And I think I mentioned a flat surface. Stethoscope, infant stethoscope, preferable on the table bulb section. Some people do have, oxygen as well as suction tubing and, pulse oximeter, all of those kinds of things you can have on your NRP table, but I'm just going to go over the basics. So, our baby we've already dried and tried to stimulate, and the baby's not really coming around. So I'm going to check the umbilical pulse because I think it's right there. Usually the pulse will still be going at this point. You can also use your stethoscope and listen. Okay, so if it's below 100, we're going to start our inflation breaths. So as per Karen Strange, she'll do 5 inflation breaths to initiate the resuscitation, and this is going to be held down for longer with more pressure. The idea is to get, pardon me, I'm sick, is to get the fluid out of the alveoli, and with more pressure and more force, it's going to be more likely that the lungs will expel the fluid and that the baby can take a full breath. So you always want to make sure that the baby's in the sniffing position, that the nose and the mouth are fully covered by the mask. And I like to come on the right side of the baby because I am right-handed, because you always want to make sure that you can see everything in front of you. So we're going to put the mask over the baby's mouth, and the inflation breaths go like this. 1, 1002, 1003, release. 1, 1002, 1003, release. 1, 1002, 1003, release. So on the 1, 1002, 1003, I am inflating, so it's for longer, and it's going to be in the yellow range. On the most masks will have a green, yellow, red pressure gauge. You're going to want it to be in the yellow part. 1, 1002, 1003, release. Okay, after those inflation breaths, sometimes that's all the baby needs to get that initial, that fluid out of the lungs. So after those inflation breaths, if you notice, we're going to listen again. If it's above 100, then we are going to just put the baby skin to skin with mom and go about normal postpartum care. If it's under 100, still, we are going to continue with our normal rescue breaths. So one person should be, listening for the pulse. Another person is going to be doing the inflations. So coming alongside, one person's listening, one person is on the mask, and this goes like this. Breathe, 2, 3, breathe, 2, 3, breathe, 2, 3, breathe, 2, 3, breathe, 2, 3. So it's shorter, a little bit quicker with the inflations, and a little bit less pressure. So this will be in the green range. So breathe, 2, 3. On the breathe, you're pushing into the mask, into the bulb, and on the 2, 3 is the kind of spacing. After you do that for 30 seconds, recheck for the pulse, or for the heartbeat. If it's above 100, then you can stop, and hopefully your babies will be in that range. Sometimes that's all they'll need is 30 seconds to a minute of rescue breaths. If it's below 60, we're going to start doing compressions. So this is definitely takes 2 people. One person will be on the mask, one person will be doing compressions. So we'll just have this here. You're going to take 2 hands and going 2/3 of the way into the chest wall. So 1 and 2 and 3 and breathe. Sorry, I had to think there for a second. 1 and 2 and 3 and breathe. 1 and 2 and 3 and breathe. Okay, so you're going to have your 2 hands like this, and you're going to be compressing. 1 and 2 and 3 and breathe. Okay, after 30 seconds, we're going to re-listen or feel, palpate. If it's above 100, great. If it's above 60, we don't need to keep, if it's above 100, we can stop doing resuscitation. If it's above 60, then we don't need to do compressions anymore. The only time you need to do compressions is if the pulse is under 60. So if it's at 80, we're going to still continue to do the inflation or the rescue breaths. If it's above 100, we can stop. If it's below 60, we're going to keep doing compressions. You know, if we're having to do compressions, then secondary resources should be on the way already. Okay, if there's anything I missed that was confusing, please let me know. That's just the way that I was trained. I would love any feedback you guys have, and this can be intimidating. Always remember to breathe in the room, communicate with parents, talk to the baby, include everybody in the resuscitation process. I think it just makes for a more holistic, biodynamic approach where everybody is involved. All right, thanks guys.